Good morning. Happy Saturday. So I'm by one of my other favorite places in the park. The waterfall is right there, even though it's not running. Up on top there is where I've broadcast from a couple of times when it was snowing out on top of the flagpole. So we have been talking about how to create habits that support your outcomes in terms of creating the long lasting changes and results that you're looking for. Success conditioning was the term that we used. How to condition yourself to feel certain ways so that you're in an empowering state more often than you're not in an empowering state. Remember that all of this is under the guise of state management. Your ability to manage your state gives you everything. If you can manage your state, you get everything. You can't manage your state, you don't get anything. So this is all ways to do that. And we've learned how to do that intentionally. And so now we're learning how to do that unconsciously so that we don't have to think about it, so that we're automatically in a good state. And these success conditioning tools, like morning questions, like incantations, all of these different types of ways to approach things are ways to create this conditioned response so that on a routine basis, you feel good. The better you feel, the more you're going to create, the more opportunities you're going to have, the more options that you're going to see, and the more results that you're going to create. So, another term for all of this is called anchoring. And you might have heard it called anchoring or you might have heard it called triggering, but it's the same thing. And it's just this. If you hear something, all of a sudden you get a response to it. We did the Rocky theme yesterday. Play the Rocky theme and all of a sudden you feel like you want to go do some push-ups and you want to run around. Well, that's a conditioned response. That's an anchor, if you will. So we can create these. So obviously we can use ones that we have, like music is a great one, videos are great ones, but we can also create them. So how do you create an anchor? Well, when you get into a heightened emotional state, and it can be bad or good, because we talked about Titanic, the movie Titanic, that, you can start listening to that soundtrack and all of a sudden be like, I kind of feel a little depressed. Well, that's because you're listening to this beautiful music, but in the beautiful music, the guy dies and all this stuff happens, if that's your interpretation of the event. So, how can we create an anchor? Well, it's simple. Get yourself into a heightened state, and at the peak of that state, do something unique. The way that we remember this is at the peak, do something unique, and then repeat. Repeat the anchor. At the peak, do something unique, and then repeat. So let's say that you want to anchor in this feeling of being excited, okay? So you can put yourself in this peak state and then do something unique. I have anchors on my fingers. I've gotten myself where I took anchors, then put them on my fingers. But you could do something unique and then make a fist. Get yourself super excited, make a fist. Super excited, make a fist. Super excited. And you got to really feel it. And then what'll happen is you'll make that fist and you'll go right back to that anchor. You can also do it by listening to a specific song and then putting yourself in a peak state while you hear that song. And remember, peak state is created by physiology. Physiology changes our state more radically than anything else. And by jumping up and down and making yourself up, you can't help but feel better because that's the physiology of being excited and celebrating. And so, even if you feel like junk, if you jump up and down and celebrate, what you're telling your body biologically is, I feel great, I'm celebrating, and your body will respond that way. So, another thing that you can do to start feeling these feelings on a regular basis is create them. So, if you want to feel tranquility, then just breathe like you would breathe if you were feeling tranquil. Think the thoughts in your head that you would think if you were feeling ultimate tranquility. Put yourself in a place that you would be if you were feeling incredibly tranquil, incredibly calm, whether that's on a beach or by a waterfall or by a stream or sitting in a beautiful Japanese garden, whatever it is. Put yourself in that place and then touch your two fingers together or pull on your ear or do something unique and then do it again, do something unique, do it again, do something unique. And then when you want to feel tranquility, just pull that anchor and you're going to feel those feelings. So like one of the things that I learned to do is I named my different personalities. So I have Tim Mahoney, the lawyer, and I have Mahoney, the spouse and the parent. And you want to try to keep those separate because approaching your spouse and your child the way that you approach a problem as an attorney, not always a good idea. That doesn't always work out so well. You start to cross-examine people. You start to, that's not what they want. As an attorney, I solve people's problems. Well, guess what? When I come home, many times my wife doesn't want me to solve her problem. She wants me to listen to her problem. So I have to shift gears. Well, anchors are a great way to do that. So one of the things that I've anchored in is my uniform, my suit of armor. When I put my suit on, I become Tim Mahoney, lawyer Mahoney. So one of the things that I'll do when I come home is I'll do a trigger for my bride that I know triggers her into feeling loved and attracted by me and to me. And then I'll say, okay, give me just a second, and I change my clothes. And when I change my clothes, then that's a way to anchor myself into becoming Mahoney, the spouse, and the parent, which are different approaches to things than to the lawyer. So play with this. Remember, we're going from a situation where somebody else is controlling us to we are controlling ourselves. Design your own life. Don't become somebody else's design for theirs. And by the way, it's the weekend. If you want to see how to anchor, watch a beer commercial. There is no greater demonstration of how to anchor something than a beer commercial. Because what do they anchor you to in a beer commercial? Nothing that has anything to do with their product. Coors Light is my favorite. The silver bullet, really subtle. What do they show? Young people that are gorgeous, that are running around, playing volleyball, and they're on beaches, and they're all incredibly great shape, and we all know that they're all going to be getting together later and doing all kinds of fun, exciting things, and then they show Coors Light. People that drink beer all the time, do they look like those people that are on that beach? Absolutely not. Go to any bar and you don't see people that look like the people on that beach. But they put you in a heightened state. They use music, they flash, they show little clippets, and they show people like, they show this, they show this, they show this, bam, they show their product. They show this, they show this, they just show this, bam, they show their product. And guess what you do? You anchor in your head that product equals that life. And that's how they anchor somebody. So if you want to learn how to do it, watch those commercials. They're spectacular at doing it. But pick at least one or two emotions that you want to feel on a regular basis. And then anchor those emotions. Feel them, go into a heightened state, and do something unique. At the peak, do something unique and start to trigger those and create those anchors. And then test it. Use the anchor. Again, you cannot overuse this. The more you use it, the better it's going to get. And the more you anchor it, the stronger it's going to get. So do it again and again and again and start to feel how good it feels to be able to control how you're feeling at any time. I use them on my fingers. I have different anchors on my fingers for different things. I've used them for years, and the more I use them, the more effective they are. An incredibly effective tool at being able to manage your state so that you make better choices. Remember, people who make better choices have better lives. Good morning, Mr. Drahobel. Thank you very much. Lita, great to see you this morning. I hope all is well. Doris, great to see you. Mr. Lakota, thank you so much for hopping on. And Mary, it was so great to finally get a chance to show you the office and to meet your significant other. Great to see you, dear. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I truly, truly appreciate it. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other. Have an awesome day.